My name is Diego, and I was there when Evelyn's story changed forever. It was a crisp autumn afternoon on October 15th, and the air was electric with anticipation. Evelyn stood at the edge of the park, her heart racing as she awaited her ex-husband's arrival. She smiled, but there was a weight in her chest that suggested otherwise. They had shared so much, dreams, laughter, and love, but now they were tangled in the aftermath of a bitter separation. The smell of rain on the pavement mixed with the earthy scent of fallen leaves, creating a bittersweet perfume that hung in the air. Birds chirped overhead, their melodies contrasting sharply with the heartbreak echoing in her soul. She smiled but trembled, caught between hope and despair. How can blood turn to poison like this? As she waited, memories flooded her mind. Memories of family gatherings where her relatives had whispered behind her back, calling her crazy for believing in love and second chances. They didn't understand her struggles, her heart's longing for reconciliation, nor the depths of her pain. What nobody knew was that this meeting would unravel secrets that would change everything for Evelyn and those she loved, and perhaps even prove her family wrong about the madness of her heart. Evelyn sat in her living room, a cozy haven filled with the scent of freshly baked apple pie wafting through the air. The sun streamed through the window, illuminating the eclectic collection of knickknacks that adorned her shelves, each a testament to her unconventional spirit. To most, her decor might seem chaotic, but to her, it was a patchwork of memories, laughter, and resilience. She gazed out the window, listening to the melodious chirping of birds heralding the arrival of spring. It was a reminder of the beauty that thrived outside, even amidst her turbulent family life. "Evelyn, I can't believe you're still doing that," Brenda scoffed from the doorway, arms crossed defiantly. Her voice broke the tranquil atmosphere, a sharp contrast to the gentle sounds of nature. Evelyn turned, a smile plastered on her face, masking the sting of her sister's words. Brenda had always found joy in mocking her, convinced that Evelyn's quirky gardening techniques, her insistence on planting herbs among flowers, were nothing but a waste of time. "Oh my God, I can't believe you'd come here just to criticize me," Evelyn replied, trying to maintain her composure. "These herbs are going to save me a fortune at the grocery store." She gestured toward the flourishing basil and thyme, their vibrant greens a testament to her dedication. In that moment, she felt a flicker of strength, a reminder that she was more than her family's dismissal of her passions. Brenda rolled her eyes. "It's just a hobby, Evelyn. You really think that's going to make a difference?" With a huff, she turned to leave. But not before Evelyn caught a glimpse of something unusual, a glimmer of interest in Brenda's eyes as she eyed the thriving plants. In the living room, it hurt like strength. As the door clicked shut behind her sister, a familiar face appeared. Henry, her loyal friend, ambled into the room, a basket of fresh vegetables in hand. "Hey there, Eves. Thought I'd drop by with some goodies from my garden. You know how I love to share the bounty," he said, a wide grin stretching across his face. Evelyn chuckled, grateful for his presence. "You're a lifesaver, Henry. With Brenda's attitude today, I needed a little positivity." She took the basket, admiring the colorful assortment. "You have such a knack for this. Maybe I should take notes from you instead of trying to prove a point." Henry shook his head, a twinkle in his eye. "Nah, you've got something special going on here. You've got the magic touch. Just look at those herbs. And don't get me started on that apple pie. My heart sank when I smelled it from the driveway." Evelyn laughed, the warmth of his words lifting her spirits. "You always know how to make me feel good about my quirks. Maybe that's why I keep you around." But as they chatted, a sudden change in the air swept through the room. Evelyn's phone buzzed, breaking their moment of camaraderie. She glanced at the screen, her heart racing as she saw Tom's name flash across it. He hadn't contacted her in months. "Should I answer it?" she asked, trepidation creeping into her voice. Henry raised an eyebrow, concern etched on his face. "You don't have to. You've moved on, remember?" "I know, but what if it's important?" Evelyn replied, her mind racing. She hesitated, then pressed the button to accept the call. "Evelyn?" Tom's voice crackled through the speaker, smooth yet distant. "I need your help." "What?" she said, her heart pounding. "After all this time, you want my help?" "Yes. I know I messed up, but things are bad, and I don't have anyone else to turn to," he pleaded. The desperation in his tone was palpable, twisting her stomach in knots. "Oh my God, I can't believe this," she murmured, disbelief washing over her. "You left me for someone else, Tom. Why would I help you now?" "Because I'm in trouble, Evelyn. I didn't realize how strong you were until I lost you. I need your wisdom. You always knew how to make things grow, even when I didn't." The sincerity in his voice struck her, but it also stirred a mix of emotions: betrayal, anger, and an unexpected flicker of empathy. Thought. The smell of apple pie brought painful memories. Henry watched her closely, sensing the storm brewing within. "You don't owe him anything, Eves. Remember how far you've come." But as she looked out the window, the rain began to fall, pattering softly against the pavement, a reminder of life's unpredictability. Maybe there was a hidden value in her gardening methods after all, nurturing something back to life. "Let me think about it," she finally said, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "I'll call you back." As she hung up, Evelyn felt a surge of strength wash over her. The world outside her window was still blooming, despite the rain. And maybe, just maybe, her crazy ideas had more value than anyone had ever realized. "Let's get to work on that pie," she said, turning to Henry, determination glinting in her eyes. "There's a lot we need to discuss." Evelyn gazed out the window. "What a beautiful day," she whispered. Tom noticed her distant look. "You seem lost in thought." Evelyn sat in her living room, the delicious aroma of the apple pie still wafting through the air, mingling with the faint scent of fresh grass from outside. The sound of wind chimes tinkled softly in the breeze, a serene backdrop to her thoughts. She had always loved this time of year, when the world felt alive with possibility. But today, that feeling was overshadowed by a growing tension within the family. Tom's voice echoed in her mind, a blend of charm and self-serving intentions. He had breezed out of her life years ago, leaving her for a younger woman, convinced that she would crumble without him. Little did he know that the years had transformed her, filling her with a resilience he never believed she possessed. The door creaked open, and Brenda stepped inside, her expression a mix of annoyance and disbelief. "What are you doing in here, Evelyn? You should be outside tending to your garden instead of baking pies. It's not like anyone cares about your recipes." Evelyn turned to face her sister, a bitter smile on her lips. "Oh, Brenda, there's more to life than just dirt and weeds. Sometimes a little sweetness is needed too." Brenda rolled her eyes, but just as she opened her mouth to retort, the atmosphere shifted. The door swung open again, and Henry stepped in, his face flushed with urgency. "Evelyn, you need to hear this. It's serious." Evelyn's heart sank. "What is it, Henry?" He took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. "Tom called. He said something's happened. The family needs you. They're in trouble." Brenda scoffed. "Of course, they come crawling back. After all those years of calling you crazy and ridiculous, now they need you for something? What a joke." "Don't say that," Evelyn replied, her voice steady. "They might have finally realized that I do have something to offer. Maybe they regret how they treated me." "Regret?" Brenda echoed, disbelief lacing her tone. "Oh my God, I can't believe this. They've always thought they were better than you." But Henry interjected. "I think there's more to it. I overheard them talking about how they wish they'd listened to your advice. They're in deep water now, and they need your wisdom to navigate it." Evelyn's heart raced. She had spent years nurturing her knowledge, crafting her skills, and now she was being called upon. It was a bittersweet moment, one that felt like redemption, yet it hurt like heartbreak to think of all the dismissals she had endured. Brenda crossed her arms, still skeptical. "And what makes you think they won't just push you aside again once they get what they want?" Evelyn paused, feeling the weight of her sister's doubt pressing down on her. Cultural reflection. In the living room, it hurt like heartbreak. Maybe they've changed. Maybe they see me differently now. I have to try, Brenda. I owe it to myself. Brenda huffed, but Evelyn could see a flicker of something in her sister's eyes, perhaps a hint of concern. You really think they'll come to appreciate you? I do, Evelyn said, her voice stronger now. This could be a chance for them to recognize what I bring to the table, not just as their quirky grandmother, but as a resource. Henry smiled, his support unwavering. I'll be right here with you, Evelyn. You've got this. You've always had it in you. Evelyn's resolve solidified. All right, let's gather our things. I'm going to show them that I'm more than the crazy grandmother they thought I was. As they prepared to leave, Brenda's expression softened, though she struggled to mask it. Just be careful, okay? You don't have to prove anything to them. Evelyn shook her head gently. It's not about proving anything, Brenda. It's about healing, for all of us. The three of them stepped out into the warm sunlight, the world outside buzzing with the sounds of summer. Evelyn felt a surge of hope as she embraced the moment, ready to confront her family and the tumultuous tides that awaited them. Cultural reflection. That moment in the living room changed everything. She was ready to reclaim her place, not just in their lives, but in her own story. As they approached the car, Evelyn took a deep breath, ready to navigate the chaos. Preserve the original language of the text. It was about embracing her strength, her wisdom, and the love that still bound them all together. Evelyn took a deep breath. We need to have a serious conversation. Tom tensed up. About what exactly? About what exactly? Tom's voice was laced with defensiveness, and Evelyn could see the way he shifted his weight from one foot to the other, as if he were already preparing for an argument. Evelyn squared her shoulders, feeling the warmth of the sun on her back, a stark contrast to the chill creeping into the atmosphere. About the family, she said, her tone firm yet measured. I heard you're in trouble. I want to know what's going on. Tom's gaze flicked to Brenda and Henry, the tension in his posture easing slightly as he let out a breath. It's complicated, Ev. We thought we could manage it ourselves, but things spiraled out of control. Spiraled? Brenda scoffed, crossing her arms. Is that what you call it? You mean ignoring all the warnings? Enough, Brenda, Evelyn interjected, her patience thinning. Let him explain. The scent of the apple pie lingered in her mind, a reminder of home and comfort, everything they were risking. Tom ran a hand through his hair, the sun catching the glint of silver at his temples. We invested in a business venture, a restaurant. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but the market crashed, and now we're facing financial ruin. Evelyn felt a pang of sympathy, despite the years of resentment. How can I help? He looked up, surprise etched on his features. You really want to help us? Of course, you're still family, no matter what happened in the past. Brenda's incredulous expression mirrored her disbelief, but Evelyn pressed on. I've spent years learning about finances, planning, and strategy. If you're willing to listen, I can guide you. Tom's shoulders relaxed further, and for the first time, he looked vulnerable. We'd appreciate that, Ev. I know I've made mistakes, but we can't lose everything. As the distant sounds of traffic buzzed on the road nearby, Evelyn felt the weight of the moment settle around them. She could sense the shifting dynamics, the possibility of healing, and the chance to rebuild not just their lives, but their fractured family ties. Let's sit down and figure this out together, she said, determination seeping into her voice. We'll tackle this as a team. Brenda's skepticism softened, and even Tom's expression turned hopeful. The warmth of the sun felt like a promise, and Evelyn finally felt like she was stepping into the role she had always deserved. The scent of freshly baked apple pie wafted through Evelyn's kitchen, mingling with the earthy aroma of freshly cut grass from the yard. It was a comforting smell, one that had always brought her family together. But today, the usual warmth felt stifled as she sensed the tension brewing just outside the door. Brenda stood with her arms crossed, her eyes narrowing at the sight of Evelyn kneading dough. "You really think baking is going to fix everything?" she scoffed, her voice dripping with skepticism. "You're just being ridiculous again." Evelyn paused, her hands stilling on the counter. "Brenda, I don't bake to fix things. I bake because it brings joy. Maybe you should try it sometime," she replied, her tone steady but with an edge of weariness. The wind chimes outside clinked softly, almost echoing her resolve. "Joy? Oh my God, Evelyn, you're living in a fantasy. You've always been the quirky grandmother, and now you think you can solve problems with pie?" Brenda's voice rose, and Evelyn could feel the familiar sting of jealousy lacing her sister's words. But then, as if summoned by the tension, her youngest granddaughter, Lily, burst into the kitchen. "Grandma, that pie smells amazing! Can I help?" The innocence in Lily's voice cut through the air like a knife. Evelyn felt her heart swell with warmth, but it was quickly followed by a pang of concern. How would Brenda react to this? "Of course, sweetie, just wash your hands first," Evelyn said, a smile breaking through her momentary anxiety. But she noticed Brenda's expression darkening. It wasn't just the pie that mattered. It was the shift in how Lily viewed her. Lily climbed onto a stool, her small hands eagerly reaching for the mixing bowl. "You know, Grandma, I think you're the best baker in the world," she chirped, her wide eyes sparkling with admiration. Evelyn's heart sank a little at the thought of the rift this could create within the family. Brenda huffed. "Seriously, Lily? You really think Grandma is a genius just because she can mix flour and sugar?" Her words dripped with disdain, but Evelyn saw a flicker of uncertainty in her sister's eyes. "Actually, it takes skill to bake, Aunt Brenda," Lily shot back, defending Evelyn with a conviction that made Evelyn's heart swell. "She makes the best apple pie. And she's wise, too. You just don't get it." Evelyn caught Brenda's incredulous stare, and for the first time, she saw a crack in her sister's armor. It was a moment that could shift everything, and it sent a rush of adrenaline through her. "Did you just call me wise?" Evelyn chuckled, trying to lighten the mood. "I think I've been called a lot of things, but that's a first." Brenda's expression shifted, frustration battling with reluctant acknowledgement. "This is ridiculous. You're just a grandmother playing house. You think you can help just because Lily thinks you're special?" "But she does think I'm special, Brenda," Evelyn replied, her voice firm. "And that's what matters. Sometimes it takes a child's perspective to see the truth." She paused, letting her words sink in, feeling the weight of the moment. Cultural reflection. In the kitchen, it hurt like strength. Tom entered just then, his charming demeanor as smooth as ever. "What's going on here?" he asked. Glancing from Brenda to Evelyn, a hint of mischief dancing in his eyes. "I hope you two aren't at each other's throats again." "Tom, this is about more than just pie," Brenda snapped, her frustration bubbling over. "Evelyn thinks she can solve our problems with her baking and this silly wisdom act." Evelyn's heart sank at Tom's presence. He had always undermined her, but today was different. "Actually, I'm trying to show that sometimes the simplest things can bring us together," she said, her voice steady, fighting the urge to let his charm unsettle her. "Come on, Evelyn," Tom chuckled lightly. "This isn't a fairy tale. We all know you're the quirky grandma. You can't expect anyone to take you seriously." Evelyn felt the pressure build as Brenda nodded in agreement, but she also felt Lily's small hand wrap around hers, a silent gesture of support that ignited a fire within her. "You know what, Tom? Maybe I'm quirky, but I'm also the one who has always been there for our family, despite what you think," she replied, her voice rising above the doubt. "I've faced challenges that you couldn't even imagine, and now, when my family is in turmoil, they come to me. Maybe it's time you all recognize that." Lily looked up at her, admiration shining in her eyes. "See, Grandma, you are wise." Evelyn caught her breath, realizing the moment was bigger than any pie or petty argument. For the first time, she felt the weight of her family's expectations shift, if only slightly, toward understanding her strength. And as the wind chimes sang softly outside, Evelyn knew she had sparked something new, a flicker of respect that could finally bring her family together, one slice of apple pie at a time. The sun was just beginning to dip below the horizon, casting a warm golden hue across the backyard. Evelyn stood at the edge of her garden, the fresh grass beneath her feet alive with the scent of early summer. Wind chimes danced softly in the gentle breeze, their melodic tinkling blending harmoniously with the distant sounds of children laughing. As she sipped her fresh coffee, the warmth of the cup seeped into her hands, grounding her in this moment of tranquility. But tranquility was fleeting, and today it felt more like a mask for the brewing storm. She had invited her family over for a gathering, hoping to bridge the growing gap between them. The apple pie she had baked was cooling on the table, its sweet aroma wafting through the air. Yet a heaviness lingered, a palpable tension that had woven itself into the fabric of their relationships. Evelyn glanced at her sister, Brenda, who was sitting stiffly in a lawn chair, arms crossed tightly over her chest. The jealousy had always simmered just beneath the surface, but today it felt like a boiling pot ready to overflow. "Why do you always have to be so—" Brenda finally blurted out, her voice taut with frustration. "Can't you just act like a normal grandmother for once?" "Normal? What does that even mean?" Evelyn replied, her brow furrowing. "I thought we were here to celebrate, not criticize. I'm just trying to bring everyone together." Brenda scoffed, her eyes narrowing. "Together? You mean you want us to worship your crazy ideas? You've turned into this eccentric figure, and it's embarrassing." Evelyn felt her heart sink. The weight of Brenda's words felt like a stone pressing against her chest. "Oh my God, Brenda, I can't believe you feel that way. I thought you'd appreciate the traditions I'm trying to keep alive." Before Brenda could respond, Henry, her loyal friend, stepped in. "Evelyn, you're doing something beautiful. You're connecting the past with the present, but I think Brenda's struggling to see that." He turned to Brenda, his voice steady but gentle. "Maybe you should share what you're feeling. It might help." Brenda opened her mouth to protest, but the words didn't come. Instead, she looked down at her hands, her expression softening slightly. I just feel ashamed sometimes," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "You know, about how little I know about our family's traditions. I thought they were silly, but now I see how important they are to you, and it makes me feel so small." Evelyn's heart warmed at Brenda's unexpected honesty. "You're not small, Brenda. You've just been caught up in your own world, like I was. But it doesn't mean we can't change that." "Change?" Brenda echoed, her voice shaky. "I don't know if I can." "Of course you can," Evelyn said, hope igniting within her. "It starts with understanding. Let's not let the past define us. We can learn together." As the words hung in the air, the backyard felt charged with a new energy. The wind chimes chimed more vigorously, as if echoing Evelyn's sentiment. "I want to share these traditions with you," she continued. "But I can't do it alone. It's about all of us." Brenda lifted her gaze, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I didn't realize how much I needed this, how much I needed you." Just then, Tom arrived, his presence as imposing as ever. He flashed a charming smile, oblivious to the emotional weight that had filled the air. "What's all this? A family therapy session?" he joked, but the laughter died when he noticed the tension on Brenda's face. "Tom," Evelyn said, her voice steady despite the turmoil within, "we were just talking about family traditions and how they connect us." "Traditions? Oh, please. You mean your quirky ideas?" Tom replied dismissively, leaning against the fence, his arms crossed. "You always were the odd one." Evelyn felt the anger rise, but tempered it with resolve. "This isn't just about me, Tom. It's about all of us. If you want to be part of this family, you need to understand that." Tom raised an eyebrow, clearly not interested in the depth of the conversation. "I just think you're making it harder than it needs to be." Evelyn took a deep breath, steadying herself. "Maybe you're right, but I refuse to let your lack of understanding stop us from connecting. We're family, and that's what matters." Brenda, emboldened by Evelyn's words, added, "Yeah, Tom, we're trying to bring everyone together, and your sarcasm isn't helping." The air crackled with tension, but for the first time, Evelyn felt a shift. As the last rays of sunlight painted the sky, she realized that the journey ahead wouldn't be easy, but perhaps it was possible. The family she once thought had turned against her might still find their way back to each other. In that moment, Evelyn understood. Embracing her past, crazy as it was, could lead them all toward a future filled with hope and connection. And maybe, just maybe, they could find a way to navigate this messy, beautiful thing called family together. "I can't believe this," Evelyn whispered in disbelief. "I can explain everything," Tom said desperately. Evelyn stood in her kitchen, the warm scent of freshly brewed coffee mingling with the sweet aroma of her apple pie cooling on the counter. Outside, the soft patter of rain on the pavement harmonized with the cheerful chirping of birds, creating a soothing backdrop that contrasted sharply with the tension that hung in the air. She glanced at the clock, heart racing. It was nearly time for her family to arrive, and she felt a mix of anticipation and dread. As she wiped her hands on a kitchen towel, the doorbell rang, and a shiver of anxiety coursed through her. She took a deep breath, steadying herself before opening the door to her sister, Brenda. "Well, here I am," Brenda said, her tone laced with sarcasm. "Hope you didn't burn the pie this time." Evelyn forced a smile, the familiar sting of Brenda's jealousy settling in her chest. "I think it's safe to say I've mastered the art of baking," she replied, her voice calm despite the tension. Brenda stepped into the kitchen, eyeing the pie with a critical gaze. "Looks fine, I guess. Just don't expect me to praise you for it," she muttered, crossing her arms as if to shield herself from the warmth of Evelyn's success. "Evelyn, is that coffee I smell?" Tom's charming voice floated in from the living room, and Evelyn's heart sank at the sound of him. After all these years, his presence still had the power to unsettle her. She turned to find him leaning casually against the doorframe, a roguish grin on his face. "Oh my God, Tom," she said, trying to maintain her composure. "I didn't expect you to show up." "I wouldn't miss a chance for your famous apple pie," he replied, stepping closer, his self-serving nature still evident. "And besides, it's family. Can't let you handle this alone." Evelyn's stomach twisted. She had spent years rebuilding herself after their divorce, finding strength in her independence, and now here he was, acting as if nothing had changed. "Let's not pretend we're all one big happy family," she said, her tone sharper than she intended. "We have issues we need to address." Just then, Henry walked in, his presence a welcome relief. "Hey everyone, I brought some snacks," he announced cheerfully, holding a bag of chips like a peace offering. "Thought we could use some fuel before diving into the drama." Evelyn smiled at him, grateful for his support. "Thanks, Henry, that sounds perfect." As they settled around the kitchen table, Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that this gathering was different. The air was thick with unresolved tension. But as they began to share stories over coffee and pie, something shifted. "I remember the time you tried to teach me how to plant flowers, Evelyn," Brenda said suddenly, her tone softer than before. "You were always so determined. I was just a brat back then." Evelyn blinked in surprise. "I thought you hated it." "I did, but I realize now you were just trying to show me something beautiful," Brenda admitted, her gaze falling to her hands. "I guess I never appreciated your vision." Evelyn felt a flicker of warmth at Brenda's acknowledgement, but it was Tom who broke the moment. "You two should have seen me trying to fix the roof last summer," he laughed, leaning back in his chair. "What a disaster that was." Evelyn exchanged a glance with Henry, who raised an eyebrow, clearly unimpressed. "What was the disaster? You not hiring a professional?" he teased. Tom chuckled, shrugging off the comment. "Touché, Henry, but I learned a lot from that mistake." Evelyn's heart raced as she listened. "Wait a minute," she interrupted, curiosity piqued. "You learned from your mistakes?" Tom paused, his facade slipping for just a moment. "Yeah, I guess you could say that. We all have things we can learn from, right?" The conversation took an unexpected turn as they began to share more about their experiences, each revelation weaving a deeper understanding of their past struggles. Evelyn's heart swelled with a mix of pride and surprise as they started to recognize the value in their pasts, each one carrying their own burdens, yet now they were finding common ground. "I can't believe this," Evelyn said, shaking her head in disbelief. "We've all had our battles, and here we are, finally talking about them." Brenda nodded, her expression thoughtful. "I think we've been so caught up in our own issues that we forgot we could learn from each other." Evelyn felt the tension in the room begin to dissipate, replaced by a newfound sense of unity. It was a small victory, but in that moment they were beginning to shift the dynamics that had kept them apart for so long. "Maybe we can start fresh," Henry suggested, his voice steady. "We can support each other instead of tearing each other down." Evelyn felt a rush of hope. This was the moment she had been waiting for, the turning point in their family dynamic. Perhaps, just maybe, they could rebuild their relationships on a foundation of understanding and shared experience. As the rain continued to fall outside, Evelyn reflected on how far they had come. Each shared story was a step toward healing, and the kitchen, once a battleground, was transforming into a space of growth and connection. Her heart swelled with gratitude. This time, it felt like they were truly moving forward together. Evelyn settled onto her porch, the early morning sun casting a warm glow over her garden. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the sweet scent of her apple pie cooling on the kitchen counter, creating an inviting atmosphere. Birds chirped cheerily in the trees, their song a backdrop to the tension that lingered in her heart. Today was the day her family was coming over, and she felt a mix of hope and apprehension. As she sipped her coffee, Evelyn replayed the past few weeks in her mind. The family had been in turmoil ever since Tom left, and her sister Brenda had always found fault in her attempts to bring everyone together. She had to believe this gathering would change things. She had to. The sound of footsteps broke her reverie. Brenda appeared at the front gate, her expression a blend of skepticism and disdain. "Oh my God, you're really going all out with the pie and coffee? What are you trying to prove, Evelyn?" Evelyn took a deep breath, steadying herself. "I'm trying to bring us together, Brenda. We need to talk, not just about the past, but about how we move forward." Brenda scoffed, folding her arms. "As if you have all the answers. You've always been the quirky one, remember? That doesn't mean you know how to fix our mess." Evelyn felt her heart sink. She had poured her soul into this pie, into every flower she planted, hoping for a chance to show her family that she was more than the eccentric grandmother they laughed at. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being willing to listen. We can't keep avoiding each other. Just then, the screen door creaked open and Henry stepped onto the porch, a friendly smile breaking the tension. "I'm here! I brought pancakes," he announced, holding up a stack on a plate. Evelyn smiled despite the heaviness in the air. "You know how to lighten the mood, Henry." Brenda rolled her eyes, but Evelyn caught a glimmer of amusement in her sister's eyes. "Great, just what we need, more food to distract us." Henry shrugged, placing the pancakes on the table. "Food brings people together, Brenda. It's a start." Evelyn nodded, grateful for Henry's unwavering support. "Exactly. We can't keep pretending everything is fine. Tom's choice to leave was hard on all of us, but we have to face the truth." Brenda shifted uncomfortably, her guard beginning to lower. It's hard to see you thriving while the rest of us are struggling." Evelyn felt a flicker of warmth from Brenda's words. "You've always been so talented, Brenda. I can't believe you think I'm thriving. I've been lost too." Brenda's eyes narrowed. "Lost? Really? You seem to have it all figured out." In a moment of vulnerability, Brenda's facade cracked. "Oh my God, Evelyn, I've always admired your strength. I just never wanted to admit it. I thought if I acted like it didn't bother me, I'd somehow feel better about myself." Evelyn's heart swelled with an unexpected sense of relief. "You don't have to hide it anymore. I've felt alone for so long, and I don't want that for you either." Brenda looked away, her voice barely a whisper. "I thought you were just pretending to be strong. I never realized how much you were hurting." Evelyn leaned closer, her voice softening. "You're my sister. We can lean on each other. Let's not let pride keep us apart." The atmosphere shifted, and the weight of years of jealousy and resentment began to lift. The porch that had once felt like a battleground now echoed with the sound of hope. Tom's arrival disrupted the moment, his charming smile betraying the uncertainty beneath. "Well, well, if it isn't my favorite ladies. What's this, a family reunion without me?" Evelyn bristled but held her ground. "It's not about you, Tom. This is about us, about healing." He raised an eyebrow, looking between the sisters. "Healing? Is that what we're calling this?" Before Evelyn could respond, Henry jumped in. "Yeah, Tom, believe it or not, we're all tired of the drama. It's time to face what's been broken." Tom scoffed, his confidence wavering. "And who made you the authority on family matters?" Evelyn stood up, her heart racing. "I did. I'm not afraid to speak up anymore. You may have left, but we're still a family. We need to find our way back." The silence that followed was thick with tension. Tom seemed taken aback, perhaps realizing that the quirky grandmother he had dismissed was now a force to be reckoned with. Brenda finally spoke, her voice steady. "If we're going to heal, we need to stop pretending. We need to be honest about our feelings, our mistakes." Tom looked between the two of them, the realization dawning on him. I didn't expect this." With a resolute heart, Evelyn added, "Neither did we. But it's time we change the narrative. We can't let fear and pride dictate our lives anymore." Cultural reflection. On that porch, hope mingled with vulnerability, creating a bond that had been missing for far too long. Tom took a step back, as if the weight of his choices had finally settled on his shoulders. I need time to think about what you've said." Evelyn nodded, feeling a new sense of empowerment wash over her. "Take all the time you need, Tom, but know this, we're no longer waiting for you to decide our fate." As the morning sun rose higher, the sound of birds chirping filled the air, a sweet melody of possibility. The porch, once a place of division, now stood as a testament to resilience and the promise of a new beginning. Evelyn stood on her porch, the soft sound of birds chirping filling the air as the scent of rain on pavement wafted around her. She had spent the morning preparing a feast for her family, the smell of pancakes sizzling on the griddle mixing with the sweet aroma of the apple pie cooling on the kitchen counter. It was a gathering meant to mend the rifts that had grown between them, to bring them together under one roof again, but her heart felt heavy with uncertainty. Just as she was about to pour herself a cup of coffee, she heard the familiar crunch of gravel underfoot. Brenda strode up the path, her expression a mix of skepticism and annoyance. "Oh my God, Evelyn, I can't believe you're still holding these family gatherings." "It's like you're trying to play the role of the perfect grandmother or something," she said, crossing her arms. Evelyn took a deep breath, feeling the cool breeze against her skin. "Brenda, I just want us to be a family again," she replied, her voice steady despite the sting of her sister's words. "Is that so wrong?" Brenda scoffed, her eyes narrowing. "It's not that simple. You think baking a few pancakes and pies is going to fix everything? You were the crazy grandmother, remember? Always with your quirky ideas." Evelyn's heart sank. Each word felt like a jab, reminding her of the time she had tried to be different, the time she had been dismissed as ridiculous. She could feel the weight of past betrayals washing over her like a wave, but she wouldn't let it break her. "Maybe being crazy is what we need right now," she said quietly, looking out at the garden that had once been a source of joy, now a reminder of their fractured relationships. As they stood in silence, the sound of rain began to fall, gently tapping against the porch roof. Evelyn closed her eyes for a moment, letting the rhythm wash over her. It felt like a cleansing, a chance to wipe the slate clean, even if just for today. Brenda shifted her weight, her facade of indifference faltering. "You know, I never thought you had it in you to bring everyone together," she admitted, her voice softer now. I guess I thought you were too far gone." "Maybe we all are," Evelyn said, her voice low but firm. "But we have to try. We can't keep holding on to old grudges." Brenda looked at her, the skepticism fading from her eyes. "And what if it doesn't work? What if we just end up fighting again?" Evelyn smiled gently, a warmth spreading through her heart. "Then we fight, but at least we do it as a family. We owe each other that much." In that moment, the air shifted. The sound of the rain mingled with the laughter of children playing in the distance. A reminder that life continued despite their struggles. Evelyn felt a surge of hope, a realization that maybe, just maybe, they could find their way back to one another. As the family began to trickle in, one by one, Evelyn welcomed them with open arms. Tom arrived last, his charming smile still intact, but Evelyn could see the flicker of surprise in his eyes as he took in the scene. "Wow, it looks amazing in here," he said, his voice laced with a hint of admiration. Evelyn met his gaze, holding it steady. "It's just the beginning, Tom. We have a long way to go, but we can get there." As they sat around the table, laughter and stories began to fill the air, each moment stitching together the fabric of their family. Evelyn watched, her heart swelling with a newfound strength, realizing that her so-called craziness had transformed into the very glue that held them together. "My family called me a crazy and ridiculous grandmother. Now everyone depends on me for survival," she thought, the words echoing in her mind. "And you, on your porch, how do you bridge the gaps in your family?" Evelyn's heart raced with anticipation as the chatter around the table grew louder. The clinking of forks and the soft thud of plates being set down added to the symphony of familial sounds that had long been absent. She poured herself a cup of coffee, the steam curling up like the hopes she had for this gathering. The aroma filled her senses, a familiar comfort amid the uncertainty. "Can you believe how much the kids have grown?" Tom said, chuckling as he watched his two daughters trying to outdo each other in a pancake-eating contest. Their laughter was infectious, and Evelyn couldn't help but join in, her heart lifting with each giggle that echoed around the room. "Yeah, and I bet they'll be just as crazy as their grandmother," Brenda said, her tone lighter now, teasing. Evelyn shot her a playful glare, then smiled, grateful for the shift in the atmosphere. "Crazy is a family trait," she countered. "Besides, I think it's the best kind of crazy." Brenda rolled her eyes but couldn't suppress a smile. "Okay, I'll give you that. At least you didn't burn the pancakes this time." "Progress!" Evelyn exclaimed, raising her coffee cup in a mock toast. The room erupted in laughter, and she felt a warmth spreading through her, a sense of belonging she had longed for. As the meal continued, Evelyn noticed the subtle shifts in her family's dynamics. Tom and Brenda sharing an inside joke, the kids animatedly discussing their favorite movies, and even the older relatives exchanging stories with a newfound openness. The cracks in their relationships, once so pronounced, seemed to be slowly filling with laughter and shared memories. But a nagging worry lingered in the back of her mind. What if this is just a fleeting moment of joy, she thought, her heart tightening. She didn't want to return to the silence and resentment that had settled like dust in their lives. Feeling a surge of determination, she cleared her throat. "I know things haven't always been easy between us, but let's promise to keep this going. Family dinners, game nights, anything to keep the connection alive." Tom nodded, his eyes bright with agreement. "I'm in. We need this." Brenda's smile widened, and she raised her glass. To crazy family gatherings, then, may they never end. Evelyn clinked her cup against Brenda's, a wave of relief washing over her. Maybe, just maybe, they were on the brink of something beautiful. In that moment, the porch felt like a sanctuary, a bridge over the troubled waters they had traversed. And for the first time in a long while, Evelyn allowed herself to believe they could navigate the future together, one meal at a time.